You're supposed to take me to that airplane restaurant in South Sac.
Yeah. Aviator's Restaurant.
And oop.
Greetings, Internet. Welcome to But I'm Still a Good Person by Vince Nicholas. I'm Vince Nicholas. I'm joined by my sparkling wifey, Carolyn Nicholas.
Hello.
Hello, honey. Thank you for joining me at our dining room table for our little program here. Okay, so we ate at Mimi's Cafe today. And how we came about visiting Mimi's Cafe was this week you took on extra duties. Like you filled in for your boss at work. And so it's been a lot of stress and heartache. And you know what you're doing, but you don't know everything. Talk a little bit about that.
I'm filling in for my boss. It started this week. I'm doing it for the next 3 months. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
She's on some sort of temporary assignment. Anyway, I've done it before. It's been a couple of months.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, a couple of years. So I'm vaguely familiar with it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of like meetings with scary upper management people.
Right.
And it's a lot of Excel spreadsheets.
Yeah.
And reports and data entry.
Yeah.
And juggling of duties.
Yeah. So
I had a bunch of meetings this week. I had a bunch of extra work.
Yeah. Stress.
Yes.
And so we text each other all day and night. Okay, not at night. Because we sleep next to each other.
Sometimes I do. We're laying in bed next to each other and you're asleep. And I'll send you like a link to a Twitter that I think is funny.
A food video or a cat video. But at some point during this week, you said, I just got to get through this week and then I want Mimi's Cafe. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
I just need to get through this week and then I need some French onion soup. Or is it onion soup?
It's French onion.
French onion soup and a muffin from Mimi's Cafe and all will be right in the world.
Well, one of the meetings I had to attend this week was at a building out in that area.
Yeah.
Like the Arden Arcade area of Sacramento. Mm-hmm. And there's a Mimi's Cafe right there. So I drove by it. Mm. And that's what triggered the thought. I was like, oh, let me just get through these meetings. And then I deserve me a muffin.
Yeah. And I took note in my head. I was like, oh, well, that would be a great like dinner date. Fellas, pay attention to your lady, okay? Like, they give you ideas, and you don't have to come up with anything original, okay? You don't need to be buying flowers, getting pushed to Luna by the ball wall, okay? Like, these things are there. Just be attentive and pay attention. And so when you said Mimi's Cafe, I was like, oh, man, I'm going to take my lady there. I'm going to take my woman. It's a perfect idea for a dinner date. And so... So I was like, well, I'm going to take you somewhere nice, girl. But I didn't tell you where. And I was like, but you gave me the clue. This is your idea. And so for the past few days, you've been like, what's up, right?
Yeah, I was racking my brain. I didn't know what you were referencing.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of what I had mentioned that might spark a date.
Yeah. And I said, it's a little place I like to call You'll See. So it was a surprise that I took you to Mimi's Cafe. And you gave me the idea, yet I get tons of credit.
Yeah.
Tons of husband points, if you will. But, well, Mimi's Cafe, honey, the larger issue at hand. What does Mimi's Cafe mean to you in your life?
I feel like I have brought it up over the years.
You have?
Yeah. I haven't been there in 20 years.
Yeah.
But every time we drive by it or it comes up in conversation,
right.
I always mention to you, they have the best French onion soup and they have the best muffins.
Yes.
That's all I remember getting.
Yes.
This is a place that was like super popular when I was a teenager.
It was hot back in the day.
I think it was fairly new and it was considered very like high end.
Yeah.
Were we just young or were adults like thinking we were crazy? But as a teenager, we thought it was a super nice place to go.
Well, I think it's a step up from Olive Garden and Islands. But, well, I remember Mimi's Cafe opening excuse me, Liz Fisher, in San Diego, California when I was in high school. And it was like, oh, well, this is better than Macaroni Grill. Oh, shit.
Oh, I think it's on par. Macaroni Grill was also considered very fancy.
You know what? They are analogous to each other.
Yeah, totally.
And oftentimes you see them right next door to each other. But I thought just Mimi's was like a step above your Red Lobster, your Olive Garden.
Well, you walk in and the decor it's totally like you're in an Italy countryside.
Or the south of France. Oui.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Cannes Film Festival.
They really do it up with the ambiance.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I thought it was like super like warm and fancy.
Yeah.
We went today and I was like, this is so cheap.
It's cheesy.
So cheesy.
Yeah, it's very chintzy. It's very I can't think of the word. Hold on. Cheesy synonym.
And oop.
It's like when you're in a ride. Can I talk? Are we being recorded?
Go ahead.
It's like when you're on a ride at Disneyland, mid-ride, and then the lights come on.
Yeah.
And the magic is gone.
Right.
So I guess I was younger. I was more naive.
Yeah.
It used to seem like such a magical, fancy... It was an experience.
Yeah.
I was being whirled away from downtown Sacramento, and I was escaping to the European countryside.
Yeah, it's right next to the Arden Fair Mall. Like, I get to escape from all these gang members getting into fights for TikTok, and here I am in the south of France, and and it's cheesy. Yeah, and well, I think like as a kid, you're just like wowed by nonsense, but as an adult, you see through the holes of this mystique, if you will. And yeah, I was just like, this is really dumb today. The people who buy framed wall art and like Live, Laugh, Love, or a picture of the Eiffel Tower in their house, like that, it's on par. It's just like,
right.
Okay, I'm not living, laughing, loving, and I'm not in Paris, France.
Yeah, so the decor, the ambiance, which I remember being so wowed by as a teenager, that wasn't cutting it. Yeah. So my next hope was, well, does the food still cut it? Does the food still wow me and blow me away? Right. Because I remember the food being just as enjoyable as like the atmosphere. Yeah.
Yeah. And you had specifically the French onion and a muffin. Any specific muffin? Because they have a few kinds.
I remember getting there was like a spice flavored I used to like.
Today they had the pumpkin spice or whatever, and it's October, so that goes with the territory. But so just the muffin and the French onion soup were in your head, your heart.
I knew I had to order those two things, definitely. But I was hungry, so I ordered more than just that.
Absolutely. Well, darling, you didn't have to go there. Same girl. So we get there, and it was like 11:50. It's a Friday, and first of all, we waited. Like we waited when we walked in, and it's the whole deal. We're like, "Hey, I'm here," and there are employees being employees, running around and doing whatever, working, but you don't want to like cause a scene. So we walk in and we just stand there for a few minutes. And then we waited to get our food. It was 15-ish minutes, borderline 20 minutes. And then we waited for our check. So is this Putin's price hike? Is this Joe Biden's inflation? Is this the labor shortage? What's going on? Why is everything taking so long, honey?
I think everything was understandable. It was more staffed than I expected. because you hear of labor shortages everywhere. So I was surprised to see a couple of waitresses, a busboy running around.
Yeah.
I was also, well, it was a little bit more busy than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
There was like 5 other parties there, so it was kind of busy.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was understandable except for us getting our check.
Yeah.
Because our waitress walked by our table multiple times and paused, looked at us, and we were just sitting there with empty plates.
Yeah. Her name is Rhonda, and I was like, "Help me, Rhonda! Help me, Rhonda!" But yeah, I got to the point. Well, I stood up and I walked over to her little station. I was like, "Can we get the check, please?" And I hate being that person.
I know,
but it was like, we just want to go. And then she gave us our check, and I was like, "Oh, can we pay up front?" She's like, "No, you got to put your card in." I realized how to pay a check in a restaurant, Rhonda. But we just wanted to pay and leave at that point. But she did have several tables to attend to, and there was a busboy. But as far as waiter, it was just Rhonda in our little section. So we did have to wait, not forever, but it was kind of a pain in the ass. As far as ordering, you wanted your onion soup and your muffin. I wanted to get a salad to keep it light, to keep it airy, to keep it fresh, to keep it, because I knew we were going to drink later in the day. We're currently drinking, and I was like, well, I don't want something to weigh me down. I'm not going to get like meatloaf and a T-bone because I know I'm going to drink later, and I want to get intoxicated faster. So I ordered a salad to keep it light, to keep it airy. So we got water for a frosty beverage, and your cup had a piece of matter on it.
Oh, honey.
Yeah. My
cup had something on it that shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
This is hard to talk about. Like, this is hard to relive.
Right.
I swiped it off with my hand.
Yeah.
I wiped it off on my napkin, and I was like, oh, I was cringing for the next at least 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know our glasses weren't cleaned. And you know what? After we were done eating and our water glasses were depleted because we drank them both.
Yeah.
I looked at both of our glasses.
Yeah.
Hecka dirty.
Yeah.
Fingerprints everywhere that couldn't have all been ours.
Yeah.
Cloudy.
Water spots, yeah.
Those glasses were not... Who knows when they were last washed?
Yeah.
And then I was looking around everyone around us with their glasses, with their iced tea and their water. Yeah. Everything was dirty.
Yeah.
It was not good.
Don't blame Rhonda.
I don't.
Blame Mimi! Yeah, you flicked it off, and I saw the hurt in your eyes, honey. The pain in your face over this piece of matter.
But I carried on because I was hungry.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to let this affect my dining experience. I still want to gorge on all the delicious food.
You were courageous, honey. Thank you for your courage. So let's get to the food. The muffin. Now, my friend, coworker, Richard Beeson. So I text him a picture of the Where Mimi's Cafe of your muffin. It had already come out, and he replied with, "Oh, I like the bran muffin." And you got the blueberry. So there's blueberry, there's bran, there's some sort of pumpkin spice. There was one other, I want to say banana. But you got the blueberry. Richard Beeson likes the bran muffin, honey. And so when Rhonda, who's a nice gal, when she listed all the flavors of muffin, I was like, I was teetering between bran and blueberry because I like bran. Bran is a good flavor.
I like bran too.
I like Wheaties. I like Wheaties.
I love Wheaties. I love Raisin Bran.
Yeah, it's like it's very wholesome. It's very nutty. It's very just natural.
We just have very advanced palates.
We do.
Very high. Yeah. High standards.
We're very refined.
We appreciate that bran.
Yeah. But in the end, you went with the blueberry muffin.
I haven't had a muffin in who knows how long.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'll have a muffin again.
Yeah,
it's not
never.
something I don't experience a muffin in my life.
Same.
So I was like,
Wow.
I'm going for the blueberry because
Yeah.
I love blueberry muffins.
Yeah, because a bran muffin is a good time.
Sure.
It's a good time, but if you're like living it up, if you're off track, if you're like, I want the best muffin that a muffin can be, there's no alternative. You got to go blueberry.
I'm at Mimi's Cafe.
Yeah.
I haven't been here in 20 years.
You're in the south of France.
I'll
Rhonda is giving you dirty glasses.
I know that I'll probably never be in a Mimi's Cafe again.
Yeah.
I'm getting me a blueberry freaking muffin.
Yeah.
Okay?
And it came out first, and it came out with a little cup of butter, whipped butter.
Whipped.
And your muffin, honey, your blueberry muffin, thoughts, feelings, comments, reflections?
Okay, so first of all,
Yeah.
everyone knows this is the proper way to eat a muffin.
Yes.
You divide the muffin top from the muffin bottom.
Yes.
And they nicely break into half. They separate.
A la Seinfeld.
It always reminds me of the Seinfeld with
Yeah.
the muffin tops.
Yeah. You pop the top.
It's so good. And you got to eat the top. The top is where it's at.
Top of the morning to you.
So I smothered that butter. This muffin is top tier. 100.
Yeah.
Best muffin I've ever had.
It was fantastic.
Held
yeah.
up to my memory of
Yeah.
a Mimi's Cafe muffin.
Yeah.
There's like some sort of crystallized sugar on the top.
Yeah.
It's warm.
Just
it's
to give
soft.
it a little crunch, a little...
Yeah.
A little bit, not too much, just a little...
The blueberries, you can tell they're not fresh.
Wow.
Nevertheless,
Yeah.
they're plenty. They're delicious.
They're fantastic.
I started eating this muffin and I said, you have to eat this muffin. You have
Yeah.
to enjoy this with me.
Yeah, and I was low carbing it for whatever reason because we're going to see my mom in 3 weeks. Okay, but I was like, I'll dip into this muffin, and yeah, it was like I was like, wow, this is what a muffin should, because there's a lot of muffins out there, honey. There's a lot of pastries. There's a lot of breakfast carbs out there, but this was just sublime, outstanding, soft. You mentioned the little crunchy sugar texture on the outside, and then I took a dirty knife that Rhonda gave me, and I spread some butter on there. I was like, this muffin is out of sight. Like, it's so flippin' good. It's so soft, and it's everything that a pastry should be.
And I love
sensuous.
I love how they're so big.
Yeah.
They don't go.
Yeah.
They give you everything you want and
Yeah.
then some.
Yeah, it's definitely, well, just like the French onion soup. It's very eye popping. Like, it's very aesthetically appealing. Like, you're like, wow, visually you're like, oh crap, they ain't fucking around with this muffin. But yeah, it was an excellent muffin. There's so many bad muffins out there, and there's some good ones. Majority are bad or just mid. But this muffin, I would walk to Arden Arcade for. Okay, maybe that was too much. But yeah, the muffin was fantastic. And then you also got a French onion sandwich, honey.
No, I got a French onion soup.
Dip. Yes. I was confused.
You're confusing me.
I was confused. Like, you ordered the French dip, and I thought, is that like an artichoke dip or a spinach dip? Are we going to be eating a bunch of cheese? But no, you ordered the French dip sandwich and a French onion soup. The French dip sandwich from mimiscafe.com, described as sliced roast beef on ciabatta bread with a side of au jus. And you got the bell peppers, caramelized onions, mushroom, and mozzarella on there. It was $18
Ooh, boy.
for this sandwich. Thoughts, feelings, comments, reflections, my love?
It was good. But you know what? Like, you had to especially
Yeah,
to add the caramelized onions, the peppers, the
Right.
mushrooms, the cheese.
correct.
they were hardly there. They were hardly present.
Yeah.
I didn't notice any caramelized onions.
Yeah.
It was like tiny, sparse diced onion and peppers.
Yeah.
It was barely there.
Yeah.
But you know what? The meat was good. The roast beef.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bread.
Yeah.
So I liked the bread.
Ciabatta.
I love me some au jus.
Yeah.
Like, dip me some French bread or ciabatta in some au jus.
Yeah.
And I'm a happy girl.
Yeah.
So it was good. Like, obviously I ate the whole thing. You ate part of mine.
I had a couple bites. Was it worth $17.49?
No! Gosh, no.
Exactly. Okay. So.
Well, it also came with a little garden salad.
Yeah.
Which I ate the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure that cost them 50 cents to make.
It's called a petite house salad. And you got ranch on the side. The French dip, well, I'm not a roast beef guy, but whatever. I thought the roast beef was thinly sliced, which I can appreciate. And it was a decent quality. There's not a bunch of like fat and trite and
trite
and muscle or gristle on it. So it was decent quality, but in the end, I think it's like sliced deli meat, a high end sliced deli meat.
Yeah, the Mimi's sandwich is like a step above Subway.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, it's like on par with Togo's.
Exactly. And I dipped it in the au jus. It was fine. It added a little bit, but I'm not really an au jus kind of guy. Well, because I dip my thing in there, and then like there's pieces of roast beef falling into the little cup, and then it becomes mayhem and cheese and bedlam.
Babe, you got to master it, because I have no pieces falling in. I keep my stuff together.
You keep your shit tight. So, but $17.49, honey.
Inflation.
Thanks, Joe Biden. And then, so the real reason what we came here for, as Rihanna says or sings, was a French onion soup. It's described as a savory broth with onions topped with crouton, Swiss, and Parmesan cheese for 450 calories. Thoughts, feelings, comments, reflections, my love?
It was good. It was hearty. It was warm. It was such a strong, salty flavor.
Yeah.
It was like really overpowering.
It was really, strong and rich flavor. Too much.
It was only a cup.
In my opinion. Yeah, it was also small.
And you and I think we went half and half.
Yeah, it was small, but it was still a lot.
Yeah, you ate about half of it. Yeah. The bread on top with the cheese, it's like soaked with the juice. It's good. Well, the cheese was a little bit like waxy.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it.
Yeah.
It was just very overpowering. I would not have finished it if I had been alone.
Did it live up to what you remember?
Yeah.
Really?
It did.
Okay.
I still liked it.
Yeah. Back to visual. Like, it's very... They serve you this cup of soup, and it's brown, but then what you see is the crouton. It's a piece of bread.
It's bread. It's not crouton.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a slice of
Yeah.
French bread or
baguette
something.
or something. Yeah,
Right.
but visually, there's this slice of bread on top, and then the cheese, and you're like, wow, this is well. I mean, the south of France, and I'm eating at Mimi's Cafe a French onion soup. But like you took the crouton out and just put it on a plate, so we were just kind of stabbing at it, digging at it. It was not good. It was like waxy, rubbery, chewy.
It wasn't fresh made brie or mozzarella or whatever.
It was a piece of bread with some cheese on it that was melted on some level. Yeah.
And oop.
Oh. You hear my pelvic pop?
And oop.
I thought your soup was fine, really rich, really salty, good presentation. As Emerald Lagasse says, you eat with your eyes first. But in the end, it was okay. And I've had their French onion soup before, and it was exactly what I remember. It was fine. I like the onion. Like I like the long strips of onion in there. I'm an onion guy. But overall, I guess it was fine.
I think they added one too many bouillon cubes.
It was very salty.
Very.
And very, very strong.
Oop.
So I got a salad. I got the chicken and quinoa Mediterranean. No, I got the berry spinach. Wow, this actually happened in the restaurant.
Wow, yes.
I ordered the wrong thing. You corrected me, thank goodness. But I got the berry spinach, and I ordered exactly the wrong. What?
Cut this out.
I know.
Let's start over. I wonder why you keep saying the wrong thing, though.
I'm not sure.
Your heart wants that quinoa.
They both have quinoa.
Oh, do they both? I don't recall any
chicken and quinoa. And
I didn't know you had any
quinoa. What I got
quinoa.
was berry, spinach, shrimp, and quinoa. Oh, yeah.
I didn't notice any quinoa.
Oh, there was quinoa there. So I got the berry, spinach, shrimp, and quinoa salad. It's described as 2 skewers, although they weren't skewered. They were just loose. Of 2 skewers of grilled shrimp, strawberries, blueberries, feta, and quinoa blend on baby spinach, tossed in a fat-free raspberry vinaigrette for 260 calories. You had a few bites, honey. Thoughts, feelings, comments, reflections?
It was good.
It was okay.
I had 2 thoughts.
Yeah.
Your salad as well as my little side salad. Bit wilted, not fresh.
Bagged. Like they bought some bag salad from grocery outlet.
It was like the entire meal had a sheen of not freshness on it.
Yeah.
But all the ingredients in your salad are so good. To die for. What a combination. So I love the concept. It just was executed poorly.
Yes. So the spinach, fine. The spinach is like bagged spinach.
Bagged, nearly expired spinach.
Yes. Well, that's why it's cheap at grocery outlet, honey. The quinoa, good quinoa, bad quinoa.
I didn't notice it.
What's the difference?
Can quinoa be good or bad?
Exactly.
It just is.
Exactly. Quinoa is just quinoa. The feta cheese, it was there.
I love feta.
You do.
Feta's always good. It's just very dependable.
Yeah, and it was there. It was fine, but I couldn't tell you anything more about it. The shrimp I thought was out of sight. It was grilled. It was seasoned well.
The seasoning on the shrimp was great.
Yeah.
It was super yummy.
Yeah, and there were 8 pieces of shrimp. A lot of times, like, you go out to eat, and they're like, this is a shrimp salad, and there's like 4 shrimp, and they put them at the corners, so you're like making a square or something. But there was lots of shrimp, and they were grilled, they were hot, and they were seasoned very well. Dug the shrimp. So the fruit. So I had strawberry and blueberry on my salad, which I'm not against. I don't gravitate towards fruits on my salad, but whatever. You throw some fruit on some salad, I can dig it. But the strawberry and blueberries were not fresh.
Yeah, you speared some on your fork and held it up to me.
Yeah.
And said, "Is this fresh?"
Yeah.
It sure was not fresh.
Right.
It clearly looked like it came from a jar.
Yeah.
Or was it defrosted?
It was
Definitely not.
Well, like the
fresh.
strawberries were like when you order strawberry pancakes in IHOP.
Yes.
And then they throw on some strawberries, but with tons of like syrup and compote, and they're not fresh at all.
They were definitely coated in some sort of goo.
Yeah. they were not bussin'. And then the blueberries were also not fresh. They were like borderline dried blueberries that you get in a trail mix. But I think they were like the blueberries from your muffin or something, or like they bake a bunch of blueberries and they're like, oh, these are for the salad, and they were not fresh. So like, I can dig produce on a salad, but it's got to be like new, fresh, straight from the rooftop garden. Okay, but yeah, just not no bueno. No bueno. And it's almost like Mimi's not in the cafe. It's almost like Mimi's cafe is owned by some giant corporate conglomerate who only wants to cut costs and make money. It's almost like that. So overall, I was just like, shrimp were super good. But as far as the salad, bleh, not a fan. Not a fan.
We were sitting there, and on one hand, I've held Mimi's Cafe on a pedestal for all these years.
Yes.
And I think of it from time to time.
Yeah.
I've dreamed of it.
Yeah.
I always like have a vision of myself walking in and sitting alone and having a peaceful evening with a muffin and a French onion soup.
In the south of France, wearing a beret.
Yeah,
and you talk about this once in a while.
I do.
You talk about Mimi's and the French onion soup and having a muffin.
As we were sitting there,
with regret.
As time went on, our meal started. It peaked.
Yeah.
And then it came down. It ended.
It peaked when we walked in.
So I had
peaked with the muffin.
I had the very distinct thought of,
yeah,
I never will come here again in my life.
Yeah. And that's fine. And there's a saying, don't meet your heroes. So kind of let things lie in your head. And if Mimi's Cafe is meant something to you, or you have these memories, or it's iconic, or it's just, it has a place in its heart and your head. But then when you actually visit Mimi's 20 years later, it's bound to disappoint you. It's bound to fail.
So my life lesson, my lived life lesson now is, if there's some place that you have fond memories of from 2 decades ago, just let it live in your past.
Let it live.
If there's one currently nearby that you can go to, don't go.
Let it lie. Yeah.
It was a good time. It was special.
Right.
Don't sully those memories.
Right. It will never live up to expectations, and expectations determine a lot of contentment.
Expectations are everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so you had these expectations, and I wanted to shatter them, honey. I wanted to break them with the hammer and this glass window, smash and grab your memories and your expectations. No,
you did.
My intentions, well, yes, but my intentions were good. But
I'm so happy we went.
I am, yeah.
And I was literally jumping up. I was giddy with excitement when we got there.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the muffin was fantastic and completely held up.
Yeah.
Everything else was like,
yeah.
I mean, it's just your run of the mill Denny's, or like just your typical chain,
a glorified IHOP. Yeah. Well, we were driving there because I didn't tell you where we were going, but you knew we were leaving West Sac. Like, I was about to hop on the freeway.
Yeah.
And you said, where are we going? What part of Sacramento are we going? And I said, Arden Arcade. And you instantly knew.
Yeah.
You instantly knew it was Mimi's. But yeah, like, their food, it's like not bad, but it's not good. It's not bad. It's not good. It just is, and we didn't die, I guess. There were a table of 4 crazy old ladies next to us who were like going on and on, asking questions about, to the waitress Rhonda. Does this have this, and this used to have this, and does this have that? And I was like, well, you have the menu, ladies.
One old lady went through the entire menu. They were perusing this menu for at least 20 minutes.
Yeah, they couldn't be eaten by the time they kept asking questions. I was like, why are they delaying their
This one particular
food?
old lady said to Rhonda, I looked through the whole thing and there's nothing that's gluten-free.
Oh, jeez.
So then poor Rhonda, she had to go, she went back to, she brought out a printed paper and she was like, this is from our website.
Yeah.
So she had to do all this extra work
Yeah.
to find this old lady some gluten-free options.
Yeah.
By the time we left, they still hadn't gotten their food.
Yeah.
Except they all got a muffin.
Yeah.
Smartly.
Yeah.
So their muffins had arrived and they looked amazing.
Yeah. Well, I saw this table of 4 crazy old ladies and I thought, that's my wife in 10 to 20 years.
Yes.
God
willing.
You have the internet. Go online. Look at the PDF menu. Email mimis@customercare.com or whatever. Don't waste Rhonda's time. Okay, that's why Rhonda didn't give us our check for 10 minutes.
And I got the impression that this was like a group of 4 old ladies that lunch. Like they lunch on a regular basis.
Yeah, all the time.
They might even go to Mimi's.
Yeah.
Like that might be part of their rotation of lunch spots.
Yeah.
So I couldn't believe they were very high maintenance.
Ladies who lunch, ladies who brunch, and you'll be there soon with Debbie, Canby Brown,
and other Debbie,
and Hillary Egan. Yeah. So Mimi's. We'll never go again. And part of it is the drive. Like, it was 15, 20 minutes away. But I'm glad we went. I'm glad I got husband points for taking you, for keeping it in my head. Like, I'm gonna take my lady out. I'm gonna show you off at the Mimi's Cafe in Arden Arcade. But yeah, the food was not bussin'. Just a huge miss.
I'm glad we went too, because this itch that's been at the back of my mind for 20 years.
Yeah.
Finally, I went again, and I'm satisfied. And I don't ever want to go back.
You wish you never had the itch. You regret scratching the itch. You need some sort of ointment now. Just keep things in your head. It'll never live up to expect. Like movies and TV shows. I'll watch an old episode of Seinfeld once in a while, and I'm like, this is not funny. Or it'll have one just outstanding joke or punchline, but the other 21-ish minutes, it's like, this is not good. But in my head, Seinfeld is one of the greatest sitcoms of all time, and I still believe it is in my heart of hearts. But going back and saying, I'm gonna watch an episode of Seinfeld, it's like, this is not good. So just let it lie, I guess. Believe the lie, or like, who needs truth, honey? Who needs truth when you have memories?
Well, nostalgia. It's a hell of a rose-colored lens.
It's a powerful drug. But don't sniff that nostalgia cocaine again, because you'll never reach that high again, man. Alrighty. Where are we done, honey?
Yeah, this is a bit of a downer, isn't it?
It is. But you know what else is a downer? Life, okay? No, we had a fantastic day. I took today off work for my dentist. You took the second half of today off so we could hang. Well, you had stuff to do, and you were like, if I do my stuff, if I get my tasks accomplished, I'll take off early, and you took off early, so I was like, we're doing Mimi's, and glad we went, and never will go back. Let your memories live in their memories. Alrighty, well, we're done. That's the end of the program. It's been fun, but not really. Let's all try a little harder next time. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, review, and rate, or don't. Do whatever you want. You're grown up and make your own decisions. Do what's best for your family. Please be sure to use our promo code for Mimi's Cafe. We don't have a promo code for Mimi's Cafe.
They wouldn't give us one after this review.
Right. Sorry, Rhonda. Well, tell Rhonda we sent you. Okay.
Rhonda, you were a gem.
For a 0% discount.
I tipped you $8, girl.
Goodbye, my podcast friends. I love you. My wife and I love you. We hope you have a good day today and tomorrow. And sure, I may have sullied and disappointed my childhood and my wife's childhood memories of Mimi's Cafe. I remember when they opened in Carmel Mountain Ranch, which is no longer open. I googled it. It was a big deal. It was like when the 12 screen movie theater opened up, also in Carmel Mountain Ranch. It's like, oh, we're big time. This is Hollywood up in here. Let's go watch Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. No, not the Kevin Costner one.
Men in Tights?
Men in Tights, the Mel Brooks one.
Both are good.
Listen, when you have a 12-screen cinema on one corner of Carmel Mountain Ranch, and then on the other corner you have an Islands, and then on the other corner you have a Mimi's Cafe. They also had a Nickel City. Do you remember that?
No.
That was an arcade. Tons of video games that cost a nickel. But you had to pay a fee. It was like a $2 entrance fee. But once you got in, nickel. Every single video game. But we're still good people, and I'm still a good person. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. We hope you have a wonderful day/night. Au revoir. One more thing, honey. So your sandwich cost $17.49. Not worth it. Not freaking worth it. It wasn't an $18 sandwich. It was terrible. My salad was $17.99. It was not worth $18.
No. Oh my goodness, no.
Freaking ripoff. Your French onion soup, $4.29. I think that's
worth it.
Sensible. Yeah. And then your muffin with butter, $4.69.
Hella worth it.
Yeah, I would agree. So, our main entrees, salad and sandwich, both middling, both not good. $18, but the French onion and muffin, the lower cost items, very much worth it. Our total was $50.05. You tipped $8.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Rhonda.
I wanted to tip 20%.
Yeah.
But that just seemed a bit too high.
Yeah.
So I settled at 8%, whatever that is. Trust my math. It was 8%.
It was
18.
It was above 8%.
It was above 8. Don't trust my math. Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, I said tip 7. You went with 8. But $50. Hi, Frankie. Ladies and gentlemen.
Frankie.
Our next guest is an asshole. But $50, super overpriced.
So expensive. Yeah.
If you go to Mimi's, get the French onion soup, get a muffin. You'll be out of there for $10. You'll have a grand old time.
Yeah, their side dishes, amazing.
Yeah.
They've got a variety of muffins.
Yeah.
Salads, soups, stick with that, and you'll be pleased.
Stay away from the $18 entrees, is what I'm saying. But your muffin with the butter, out of sight, out of this world, fantastic. And then my 8 pieces of shrimp, they were good. I mean, it was shrimp grilled. Frankie wants to go to Mimi's. No. Don't do it, Frankie. It's not what you remember. Mimi's Cafe is not what you remember. Let it lie. Let it lie in your brain. Okay? Okay. Oh, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.